astrology behind our full moon in Virgo. So Virgo is a mutable earth sign. So there's this innate balance, right, between mutable movement, change, shifting, and earth, which is grounded and still and foundational. So we're called to maybe look at in a deeper manner this balance between movement and stillness, this balance between challenges and foundations in our lives. And what this can look like in a more tangible sense is routines or systems or rituals that we can set into place that will further catapult us forward, right, to the life that we envision for ourselves. And again, this is something that's going to be different for everybody. So it's just really asking yourself what those systems are going to be for you, right? Say, let's talk about a morning routine, maybe, right? It could be different for everybody. Some people like lots of movement and they feel really energized in the morning, and some people really enjoy stillness and space and quiet, right? So, again, asking yourself how you can support yourself. So, asking yourself here, what are some routines or what are some rituals that you can put into place that will help you create this sense of self-elevation, right? And knowing that it will be different for you than everyone else. Don't feel like you have to do the routines that everyone swears by or the routines that you feel like you should do, right? This is what works best for you in your body and what makes you feel the most vibrant and spacious and just excited in your life. So take the time maybe to play around with this and try different things and just do what works for you. So Virgo is also ruled by Mercury. Mercury is a pretty hot topic planet because she goes into retrograde pretty often. So a lot of people know a bit more about Mercury maybe than some of the other planets. Mercury controls intellect and communication. So what we can look at here is, how are you talking to yourself, right? Being aware of critical self-judgment sometimes, or maybe even the urge for perfectionism as that starts to creep in sometimes, especially when it comes to, your goals or personal development or being your best self and yada yada. There sometimes stretches in this aspect of perfectionism, right? Where it's all or nothing, right? Or we feel like we need to be really great at something right from the get-go. Right? One sort of prompt that I really love, it's from author Julia Cameron, who wrote The Artist's Way. She asks us to create a list of 10 things, and those 10 things, they each say, if I didn't have to do it perfectly, I would try XYZ. If I didn't have to do it perfectly, I would try XYZ, and go through and list 10 things that if you didn't have to do it perfectly, then you would allow yourself the space to try. So noticing maybe where there's that Virgo trait of perfectionism that creeps in sometimes, and seeing if we can maybe give ourselves a little bit of space around that. So all this is to say that this is a really wonderful full moon and a really wonderful time to release blockages, either physically or mentally, that sort of keep us from our truest selves. And if you go into the workbook, then there is a release exercise where we create a release list, where you write down all the ways that you feel like you're not good enough or reasons that you feel like you don't deserve the dreams that you have. And then we write all those down. We get all of our feelings, pour them out onto paper. And then if it's safe to, you can either burn it over a cauldron or a safe, fire safe glass or bowl. Or if it's not safe to do that, then you can just bury it or shred it up, just destroy it and release it in some way. So there are more in-depth instructions for that in the workbook. If that's a personal full moon ritual that you would like to do, that's one that I would highly recommend for this time. So all of this is just asking us really to take a good, honest look at how we feel and how we're treating ourselves, and really asking, does that line up with the values of our highest self, right? And it's all about finding that gap between where you're at in this moment, where you're at in your day-to-day, where you're at in the rigmarole, the routines, the ruts, the samskaras, and where you want to be, right? Finding that gap, right? What is it that's keeping you back from where you want to be? What is it that is keeping you from that most epic version of yourself that you know deep in your heart that you can be? And we want to create habits. We want to create structures, support systems. We want to create foundations that will help us close that gap between where we are now and our most badass, high vibe, embodied self. Right? And obviously, this isn't work that happens overnight, but it just gives us time to put ourselves in the mindset of looking at what's holding us back and allowing us the space and the time to say, okay, thank you for your time. Limiting mindset A, I now release you. Okay, thank you for your time, inner self critic. I now release you. So just taking some time to really notice and listen, take that seat of the observer, listen to how your body, listen to how your mind, listen to how your heart feels, and see if we can't, just loosen ourselves up a little bit, lighten and enliven ourselves up a little bit, yeah? So, releasing any thought patterns or modes of being that you cling to as a sense of false security. Really challenge yourself in this time, right? Maybe try some things fun and new. If you really want to get into the Mercury energy of this full moon, writing or reading would be great. If you like crossword puzzles, I don't know if there are any other word games. Or you can also just prioritize communication at this time, right? Maybe have a good deep talk about your dreams and your desires with your partner or your family member or a close friend, right? And really allow yourself to honor that gift of communication that we have, yeah? Listen to your inner guidance, really take that seat of the listener more than anything, and allow your innate truth and your innate wisdom to really shine through, right? Because he or she is in there and they absolutely want to support you and they absolutely want to come through and they know so much more than I think we give them credit for, right? You know so much more than you give yourself credit for, right? And you have the ability to step forward and step up, right? To the self, to the life, to the dreams that you know you want and you know you deserve, right? So give yourself permission to step forward into that now. Give yourself permission to release anything that's holding you back. Give yourself permission to be with the feelings of what's holding you back. And give yourself permission to just listen, right? Give yourself permission to be exactly as you are, which is absolutely worthy, which is absolutely perfect, right? Just allow yourself to really feel and breathe and just be with this beautiful full moon energy that we have this weekend. So I wish you all of the full moon blessings this weekend, and I hope you are feeling happy and good wherever you are. And let me know how you're feeling. Right? I would love to hear and connect from you guys. I love having this sacred space, this sacred sagna that we have to really get to communicate, right, with each other. So leave your comments down below if any of this resonated with you, or let us know how you're feeling. You can take some of your answers from the journal prompts that I've given and maybe share them below, and I would absolutely love to hear from all of you. So namaste, Satnam, happy full moon, and I will see you soon.